All right, I have 4 strollers with me today. We have UPPAbaby strollers and we have Nuna strollers. And I'm going to do a little bit of a different video today because I really want people to be thinking about what stroller is right for them and their lifestyle. It's what's really important to me. Strollers can be extremely confusing and you're seeing all these new terms floating around, and I just want to help. Here are the strollers that I'm showing you today. I'm showing you the UPPAbaby Vista, the UPPAbaby Cruz, the Nuna MIXX2, and the Nuna DEMI Grow. Now, these are strollers that you should be comparing and looking for, but I'm actually going to switch this up for you. All right, I have the Vista and the Demi, and the Cruz and the Mixx. So this is how I feel like we should be comparing these strollers, because the Vista and the Demi are both single strollers that turn into double strollers, and the Cruz and the MIXX2 are strollers that don't turn into double strollers. So as you're making your considerations, and I know there's so many considerations with buying strollers, these may be the comparisons that you may want to be thinking about in your head. So let's start with the Cruz and the MIXX2. Both Nuna and UPPAbaby make high quality strollers, and these are good strollers for the city, and they're also good strollers for the suburbs. They're both under 25 pounds, and they have very similar functionalities. With the Nuna MIXX2, you're able to recline it all the way for newborn. A full recline, so you can even undo these little buttons and create a bassinet situation for your baby. And also remember, for 2019, they actually add a summer seat on the back, so there's air mesh that flows through in the summer. The UPPAbaby Cruz is not from newborn. You can add an accessory, a snug seat, to make this newborn compatible, or you could buy a bassinet as an accessory, but this is more of a 3-month or 6-month seat with the Cruz. Both seats turn in both directions, so you can turn the Mixx in both directions and push these buttons. You can turn the Cruz and have your baby in both directions. You can see that the Mixx is up slightly higher than the Cruz, but they both have great access to your baby. You can talk to the baby when you're walking them around. There's real leather handlebar on the UPPAbaby strollers, and this is a faux leather, a leatherette handlebar on the MIXX2. Both strollers have ample baskets, like nice big baskets to store all your stuff. And the MIXX2 has a zippered pocket on the back that you can use to put your stuff into, in addition to it. Let me show you how they fold. With the MIXX2, what you do is you just fold over the seat, and then you push these 2 things, and it folds right down like this. With the UPPAbaby Cruz, you pull out the handlebar all the way, pull the 2 triggers, and there it goes. It stands on its own. Folded down, they're about the same size, and neither stroller has like a handle to pick it up, and maybe they'll add those for 2020, I don't know. To undo this, there's a little latch on the side, and they open it back up. On the MIXX2, there's also a latch on the side, and you can open it back up. The biggest difference between these two, I think, are the wheels. You can see that there are 12-inch wheels on the back with extra suspension, and smaller 8-inch wheels on the back of the Cruz. So in terms of like rough terrain, I think that the Mixx will do a really good job in terrain, and this will be a little bit lighter, but maybe we'll do a little bit less on rough terrain if you got the Cruz. Here's the UPPAbaby Vista and the Nuna DEMI Grow. These are both single strollers that turn into double strollers. So use this in the beginning as a single stroller. If you got a Vista, it's going to work with an UPPAbaby Mesa without an adapter. The Nuna DEMI Grow comes with a ring adapter included, so it works perfectly with a Nuna Pippa car seat. There's a woven fabric on the Nuna DEMI Grow. It's a nice luxury fabric, and there are also upgraded fabrics on the Vista. The Vista comes with a bassinet included when you buy it. Neither of these seats are for a newborn, so you'd either have to use it with a bassinet or with a car seat attached, or you can add an UPPAbaby snug seat to either one of these strollers to make it newborn compatible. As you can see, the Nuna DEMI Grow is a bit higher than the Vista. Like I showed you before with the other 2 strollers, the Cruz and the Mixx, you could turn the seats around so that you can, the baby could face you, so you can see the baby is here, and with the Nuna DEMI Grow, the baby is here. Now you can add those upper adapters to the Vista if you want to raise up your child. That's an additional accessory. To turn the seat around, again, you push those little buttons on the back, turn it around, push the buttons on the side, turn it around. Real leather handlebars on the Vista and adjustable handlebar on the Demi as well. Let me show you how this folds down. Both strollers have the ability to stand on their own. You just pull out the handlebar all the way, pull these little triggers on the side, and the Demi just stands on its own like this. And then you just pull right here and you can push over the seat. In terms of the Vista, you pull the triggers on the side, it stands on its own, push down the thing. Very similar situation in terms of them standing on the side. You can see their fenders on the Demi, you'll see that when I add the second seat, and there are no fenders on the Vista. To open it back up, you just unlatch it on the side. In terms of the Demi, unlatch it on the side, opens it back up. Let's talk about how to turn these into double strollers. When it comes to a Vista, this is a different seat altogether called a rumble seat. You'll see that there's no hinge on the rumble seat. There's an upper weight limit of 35 pounds on the rumble seat. So you have to think about this when you turn into a double stroller, how big your child will be, the toddler will be, if they're going to be over 35 pounds. You add these extra accessories called upper adapters. Click one in, click two in, and now the seat you can see you have the child out in front, and then you have your other child right near you. You may actually have to have your older child on the top seat for the weight limit. There's a 50-pound weight limit on the main seat of the Vista. In terms of the Demi Grow, it is different. It is the same seat on the top than on the bottom. Both have 50-pound weight limits, so you can have two bigger kids with your Demi Grow. You just push that basket down, and you just remove this from the top seat, and just put it right there, boom, on the bottom seat, and you can recline the seat if you wish on the Demi. Let me add the second seat. And now you can have two children, two 50-pound children. Now, a lot of people say, hey, my kid has no view when they're on the bottom. I'd rather them be on a Vista where they can have a view. Well, the reality is that the kids like climbing into the seats by themselves. They can see out the sides perfectly fine. And also you can recline the seat very nicely because the seats aren't like bumping into each other. But the most important thing is I think strollers are for performance. So when you put weight in the stroller, it pushes with one pillar. It pivots really, really nicely because everything is more compact with the Demi Grow. And with the Vista, it's a little bit longer. So yes, you do have your kid having a better view in the front, but it feels a little bit longer and a little less easy to push up curbs, etc. when you have this style stroller. That's true for a Vista or Baby Jogger City Select or any stroller that is in this type of configuration. One more thing between the Demi Grow and the Vista that I thought was really important to show you was how adding weight to the second seat affects the performance of the stroller. So I have these two boxes here. I have a box of Magic Beans bags. It's a 19-pound box. I'm going to throw it into the bottom seat of the stroller. I'll recline it. Cool. And now I'm going to take, this is a, thank you Stoker, it's a box of Stoker catalogs. And I'll put this in here, right? So now I have 34 pounds of weight in the bottom of the stroller, and it pushes really, really nicely. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that this is a little curb. And as you can see, it goes right up on the curb and goes right over really, really easily. Now let me show you how this works with the Vista. And now I'm going to push it over the curb. I'm like not even joking here. You can see it's much harder to get it over the curb. So when you're comparing the Demi Grow and the Vista, as you saw in my demonstration, because of the way that the Demi Grow is designed and the seats below, and you have that pillar center of gravity right in the middle, it's easier to get over a curb. But when you're in a Vista, it's a little more difficult to get over a curb because you have the stroller is a bit longer. So like I said before, think about these as a single stroller, and then in the future, you can add other seats. And the reality is that you may want to add a ride-on board to the back of these. You can get a UPPAbaby piggyback for the back of an UPPAbaby, or you can get an aftermarket accessory, a scale buggy board, which works on the back of the Nuna DEMI Grow. I do full reviews of these strollers on the channel, so you can just click around and see my other videos. Thanks for watching.